The South African, the Scot and the Australian might well be in a battle for 5th place because the leading 4 are away. Zakeo is in no man's land here, but they come round with a mile to go, and it's the world half marathon record holder from the African silver medalist over the 5,000 metres and the silver medalist from the world half behind Jacob Kiplimo in 3rd place. Nothing to separate those 3, who are now beginning to open up, some 20 metres or so on Zakeo, who is isolated in 4th.
Well, that was a 61.89 to 4 laps to go. He really has turned the screw intensely there, has Jacob Kiplimo. 3.5 laps to run, and the 2 tucked in behind him still look pretty comfortable, but as ever, with distance running and front running and trying to break your opposition, you've just got to be patient. You've just got to keep pressing the accelerator, keep the pressure up on them, keep asking the question, don't give them a chance to physically or mentally relax, and keep telling yourself you are hurting them, you are hurting them.
And he is, Tim, he is, because Kibiwott Kandi is working very, very hard to stay with this. It's Jacob Kiplimo leading with 3 laps to go in the men's 10,000 metres, desperate to keep this long line of Ugandan champions going here with another title, another instalment in this great rivalry between Uganda and Kenya on the Commonwealth stage. And Kibiwott Kandi has allowed a few metres to open up. It's Kiplimo, the half marathon specialist, the cross-country specialist, with Daniel Ibenyo of Kenya, the only one living with his pace at the moment. These 2 are beginning to pull away, and what a wonderful last kilometre we're in for here. This is real heart and passion on the line, Tim.
Look at that 9th kilometre, 2:34. He has turned it on in dramatic style, a 61.8 and a 61.9 the last 2 laps from Kiplimo, and he has literally in the last couple of 100 metres clicked it up another notch. The pressure is on now. The Kenyans beginning to struggle against this forceful surge from Kiplimo. 2 laps to run.
800 metres to go in this battle for supremacy over this classic distance, 6.25 miles. Some of the all-time Commonwealth distance running greats have contested this title. Naftali Timu of Kenya won this in 1966 before having a fabulous Olympic duel with Mamo Wolde in 68 in Mexico. We've seen the likes of Simon Munyi of Kenya winning this in 1998, Wilberforce Talel in 2002. But now we're in an era of Ugandan dominance, and how the Kenyans would love to bounce back. Daniel Ibenyo has got the belief, he's got the speed, but can he find the acceleration round the last lap? What a brilliant climax we're in for here.
500 metres to run, and Kiplimo still looking calm, still bouncing along, looking fresh, both sweating up profusely, because it is a warm, muggy evening here, as he is challenged, can you believe, by Ibenyo as they approach the belt.
Listen to the noise from the crowd here. Everybody in Birmingham responding to this classic duel over 10,000 metres. Ibenyo strikes for home. He has tracked Jacob Kiplimo like an unwanted shadow, but all of a sudden he is the man in the firing line. Kiplimo gives a little glance over his shoulder. Is it an indication that he's tiring? But he's coming wide now. Ibenyo being forced to answer the questions inside the last 200 metres. Who's got the heart? Who's got the belief? Who's got the desire? Kiplimo not waiting for the straight. He's running wide round the bend, and look at the grace with which he's accelerating here. He has been desperate to upgrade so many bronze and silver medals on the track to a gold here in Birmingham, and he's going to do it. The crowd are on their feet saluting a wonderful run from a great champion. It was destined to be his. He took it by the scruff of the neck, and it's gold again for Uganda. Jacob Kiplimo coming out on top. A brilliant, brilliant silver from Daniel Ibenyo. What a race. A dance of delight from Jacob Kiplimo. Fabulous silver medal there for Ibenyo in a new games record for the Ugandan, and an excellent bronze as well from a tiring figure of Kibiwott Kandi. But Jacob Kiplimo has the heart, and he's got the whole stadium in the palm of his hand. He tore that field to pieces and was not to be denied a glittering gold at the end of a brilliant season.
Well, he worked it to perfection. The place times are strong too. Look at this. Andy Butchart, a long way under 28 minutes, even though he was dropped off the back over those last few laps. Kiplimo 27.09, but Rob, he ran it to perfection because he sapped the strength out of Ebenyo and the other Kenyans. I got his mile up to the bell at 4.05. Absolutely brilliant tactics from Kiplimo, and he does have that devastating finishing speed.
And how the crowd respond to our last finisher, Joseph Panga of Tanzania. This has been a superb performance from Kiplimo. At last he steps out of the mighty shadow of Joshua Cheptegei, and the world champion who beat him to the gold in Eugene would no doubt be watching and saluting the man who has succeeded him as Uganda's latest Commonwealth champion over 10,000 metres. And all credit to Daniel Ebenyo. He took it to Kiplimo. He was brave enough to go to the front with a lap to go, but the Ugandan was toying with him and waiting for the time to strike with 1:50 to go. That was a brilliant distance race, Tim. What a privilege to witness that heart and guts on display here in Birmingham in front of a packed crowd.
Well, the final kilometre, 2:30. I didn't get exactly the last mile, but I suspect my calculations are about 4:03 for the last 4 laps. Kibiwott Kandi running 27.20 there, and that for him a significant new personal best for the bronze.
And how about this? He didn't bother waiting for the straight. This was the moment to strike. Ebenyo did so well to keep this burst going on the last lap. I thought for a split second with 3:50 to go, when Kiplimo looked over his shoulder, maybe he was tired. He was just double checking where Kibiwott Kandi was. And the answer to the question down the last 100 metres, all of them were nowhere. They just couldn't respond to this beautifully timed drive to the line, and how he was able to celebrate and enjoy the last 50 metres. I've had the privilege of spending a lot of time in Uganda, and they will be going absolutely wild in Kampala and in the beautiful bars along the banks of the Nile in Jinja. The Nile specials will be cracked open tonight in celebration of Jacob Kiplimo. That was a superb, majestic piece of distance running.
Well, he knew he'd got the gold in the bag, didn't he, down the home straight. Lovely when you get the gap like that and you're able to really soak up the applause and the moment, and you sort of press the record button in your mind and remember these moments to tell your children and your grandchildren. Very special indeed. Commonwealth champion, world champion at half marathon. What more titles will this young man accrue over the next 10 years and more, maybe? He does have such a marvellous engine, great speed, enormous stamina, and many people, of course, wondering, well, he might be able to sprint like that at the end of a track race, but what can he do to the marathon distance as and when he decides to step into that territory?
He's got a few dance moves as well. You said it yourself, Tim. He is the complete package. He's a world cross-country silver medalist. You know all about that. He's a world half marathon champion. He's a world record holder at the half marathon. He's a Commonwealth champion and a 4-time global medalist over the 10,000 metres. And he's done all that before his 22nd birthday. That is an extraordinary list of achievements for one so young.
Yeah, and when you think that 4th place 4 years ago when he was just 17 was just a sign of things to come. Joshua Cheptegei, of course, announcing his entrance onto the world stage in spectacular style with those double goals on the Gold Coast.
Oh, what an absolute treat. It wasn't the biggest field, but there don't need to be many to create a distance running classic. Well done to Jacob Kiplimo. The Ugandan on top, Daniel Ebenyo taking the silver, Kibiwott Kandi a wonderful bronze with a PB, but he was blown out the back by this tiny Ugandan who has forgotten how to lose.
And a spectacular sunset there as well, Rob, to act as a backdrop for what was a great 10,000 metres. There might have only been 9 athletes in it, but we were treated to supreme racing up at the front end, and Ugandans celebrating in usual spectacular style. Great to see. You got to love it.
This is one of the best celebrations we might see all week here at the Alexander Stadium.
He wants to celebrate earlier, and then he thought, no, I better keep running. You never know, this guy might have a sprint on. And then he raises his arms to cross the line for that gold, as does Benyo for that silver.
A dance of delight for the 10,000 metre champion. We salute you, Jacob Kiplimo. What a run.